We got by far our biggest report so far ahead of the trade deadline as far as potential multiple elite American League relievers that the Phillies could be in on and seem to be already checking out across the league. We're going to get into all of that today with just 20 days to go until the MLB trade deadline. So I did want to just jump right into this today as the Phillies have 3 more games before the All-Star break and about 12 to 14-ish more games, or maybe 10 before the trade deadline. 20 days until the trade deadline on July 31st, and we got our first big report yesterday. There was a big article from Matt Gelb of The Athletic. There are some ads on The Athletic, so if you do have an Athletic account, I highly recommend you going and reading Matt Gelb's article. But I did kind of paraphrase it here a little bit on Crossing Broad. But so really how this is going now is there was sort of this report from The Athletic yesterday. Excuse me there. So this is what I wrote for Crossing Broad. Thursday, Matt Gelb dropped a story at The Athletic titled, "What We're Hearing About the Phillies Trade Deadline Plans. Will They Take a Bigger Swing?" And he said, the Phillies for now sound more willing to trade bigger prospect chips for controllable big leaguers, especially a shutdown late inning reliever. The Phillies have a top-heavy farm system. Major League sources said initial indications are the Phillies want to shop this July in a more expensive aisle than the rental one. They have the prospects to do it. The Phillies have a specific interest in the American League Central. They began scouting the Minnesota Twins more heavily this week in anticipation of them being sellers, league sources said. Guys like Johan Duran and Griffin Jacks will be prize targets in Minnesota makes them available. They're expected to listen. There's a potential match with the Cleveland Guardians, who boast a deep bullpen headlined by Emmanuel Clase. Teams expect Cleveland to take offers on Clase, who is signed through 2026 with a $10 million club options for 2027 and 2028. This is what else continues. So this is sort of what I wrote now for Crossing Broad. Just my thoughts on, this situation because Emmanuel Clase and Johan Duran are 2 of the best relievers in all of baseball. They would be instant upgrades to the Phillies. They would instantly become the best reliever in the bullpen, and they would instantly become the best reliever the Phillies have had in a really, really, really long time. So I wrote, Emmanuel Clase has been one of the best relievers in baseball for multiple years. His ERA this season isn't the flashiest, sitting at 3.12 through 41 appearances with 19 saves. But he holds a 1.84 career ERA with a .938 whip in 359 career games. Even though he may not be the pitcher he was 2 years ago, he still instantly turns into the best reliever in the Phillies bullpen and one of the best that they've had in a really, really long time. Emmanuel Clase has multiple years of control left after this year. He's signed through 2026 and has a club option in 2027 and 2028. As far as Griffin Jacks is another interesting name mentioned. Jacks, 30, holds a 4.12 ERA this season in 39.1 innings for the Minnesota Twins, but has an ERA under 4 in his previous 3 seasons, most notably a 2.03 last year in 71 innings. Jacks has 2 years of club control after this year. Johan Duran, who is just 27 years old, holds a 1.52 ERA and a 1.089 whip in 41 innings this year with 45 strikeouts for Minnesota. Duran, like Jacks, is under club control for 2 seasons following 2025. Matt Gelb's report comes a day after a big trade deadline story from ESPN's Jeff Passan, who listed the Phillies' best fit as Clase and possibly Steven Kwan in the package as well. Steven Kwan, who somehow to me is crazy, is only 27 years old, is slashing 292, 350, 408 on the year with 6 homers, 29 RBIs, and a 757 OPS. The numbers may not jump out of the screen, but if you've watched Steven Kwan play baseball, you know that he's an immediate upgrade to a struggling Phillies outfield. What sticks out the most is that the Phillies reportedly aren't looking for rentals like they have in years past. If they're going to trade top prospects for players that help them win now, they don't want to just have those players for 60-ish games. Gelb mentions that every prospect other than Andrew Painter seems to be on the table. And I think at this point, that has to be the right move. That to me feels like this Phillies team is trying to win the World Series. And if they want to go and they want to try and win the World Series, nearly every prospect, unfortunately, can't be absolutely 100% untouchable. Aiden Miller, I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna have to have some uncomfortable conversations. Would I trade Aiden Miller for a relief pitcher? No. But if a package comes along for a Johan Duran or an Emmanuel Clase of Justin Crawford, Eduardo Tai, Arun Escobar, like these are the things they're gonna have to start thinking about. Because listen, man, if you go down and you look at some of these stats of these guys, I mean, this is Johan Duran. 5-3 win-loss record, which doesn't really matter for relievers. 1.52 ERA in 42 games, 14 saves, 41.1 innings, 45 strikeouts, and a 109 WHIP. You go and look at Emmanuel Clase. I keep pulling that darn clip up. Emmanuel Clase's stats this season: 3.12 ERA in 41 games, 19 saves, 40.1 innings pitched, 40 strikeouts, 1.29 WHIP. Like, these guys would be slotted in to the Phillies and instantly be the best reliever in the Phillies bullpen. It would not be close. I think this is hopefully when the Phillies start to turn things up a little bit. I wrote a big article for Crossing Broad the other day saying that, this deadline, we need to see the Dave Dombrowski that we were promised back in 2020, because we haven't gotten that the last few deadlines. It's been fringe moves. From this article yesterday from Matt Gelb, and I'm assuming from more that's coming and hopefully moves that will be made, this seems like a big deadline for the Phillies. I think this is a deadline where they're going to go get big-time controllable players. They're not going to go trade prospects for rentals. Emmanuel Clase is here for multiple seasons if they traded for him. Johan Duran is here for multiple seasons if they traded for him. They want controllable guys, and one of those two guys should be a Philly at the deadline. Dave Dombrowski has to get it done, because this team needs bullpen. Listen, this team needs a bat too. I still fully believe that this team can't win a World Series unless they get another right-handed bat, because they just don't have that pop, and they need it. How weird of a conversation do they want to get? Could they get Eugenio Suarez? What would they do with Bohm? I don't know yet. The guy, over 20 days before the deadline, you don't necessarily know the teams that are 100% going to be selling, just yet. In a week and a half, we'll know. That's when we can really start breaking down players on the channel, and we will do that. But once again, just a bombshell of a report yesterday about Johan Duran, Griffin Jax, and Emmanuel Clase. Just a reminder, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel already, I want to give a shout out to all the people that want us to do this at the end of the video. If you're still here, I got you. Don't worry. If you guys have not subscribed to the channel already, please do so. Yesterday was actually our 1-year sort of anniversary of Phillies Digest. Over 4,500 subscribers in a year. Myself and Sean Bernard, we're rolling here. We thank you guys for all the support once again every day. This has been the newest episode of Phillies Digest. My name is Luke Arcaini, and I will see you guys next time.